One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. You knew, obviously, coming into the job that the relaunch was a hell of a challenge. I'm curious who you talked to in lead up, and this specific situation is nearly unprecedented. But certainly, as you mentioned, there are administrators across the nation, leaders across the nation who have succeeded through enormous financial odds, right? And raising money for capital campaigns and whatever else it is. So I'm curious maybe who you camped with previous to getting to Birmingham to say, hey, when you were faced with this major challenge, like give me some perspective on how you worked through it. Who were those people?
Yeah, well, so we are all blessed to have, good mentors in our life and people we can lean on for things. And, uniquely, Matt, there's a lot of people that if they were going to a school and there was even a whisper about eliminating sport programs, people try to get out. They try to get away from that as much as they can. And uniquely, I had been a part in my previous job at Temple University. We had eliminated 7 sports, but then we reinstated 2 of them. And so when I interviewed for the job, I was uniquely positioned, having had that experience of both eliminating and reinstating programs, that made me very well qualified for this job. And we had just done it, probably a year and a half prior to me coming to UAB. So there were certain things, not that this is an enjoyable thing to do, it's hard. It affects people, it affects the student athletes and the alumni and all these people. It's not like it's a fun thing to do, but sometimes it's just the right thing to do to create a better experience for the teams that you keep. And so when I took this job, I had a good perspective from having done it myself. But we had leaned on Maryland and James Madison a lot through the process there. And then as far as reinstatement, East Tennessee State is going through it right now. Charlotte and Old Dominion, who have very young programs, we were able to talk to them about how did they add football. Our football coach, Bill Clark, had been at the University of South Alabama when they started football, 10 years ago or whatever it was. So we actually sort of cosmically were drawn together here in Birmingham with a lot of experience in having done this. So we went back to a lot of the notes that we had from our, the old folders. We pulled those out. Everybody did, and reconnected with the people that had done starting football, and those were the people that we talked to the most. Was, hey, what about this? What did you do right? What did we do again? And how do we handle that? And it was very helpful. And this business that we're in, this industry, is very generous when it comes to helping one another through these sort of things. We all compete on the field and on the court and what have you, but when it comes to the administrative side, I find that most ADs are very collegial in the way that they handle work and handle their daily challenges, because we all have them, and there's really not anything, almost nothing, that someone else hasn't been through at some point. And I've had conversations, I've been on the other side of it, where people have called me saying, hey, we think, unfortunately, we may have to eliminate sports. How did you do it? Or we're reinstating a program. How did you do it? And so I'm sort of paying it back and paying it forward as often as I can, because as one of my mentors used to say, Mike Alden, in terms of any crisis, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And this industry's full of them, and you need your friends to help you through it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is there a date on the calendar that you and your team either consciously or you think subconsciously are pointing to as when you can finally exhale? Is it when the ball goes off the tee at the first home game? When would that be, if there is such a point?
Yeah. In college athletics, you can't ever exhale, right?
Well,
you're never able to rest. There's people say, when's your downtime? And I said, I don't know. I'll let you know when I find out when the downtime is. No, but I know what you're asking, and yes, I think when we get to the first kickoff of the first game, September the 2nd, there certainly will be a moment. It won't be a long moment, but there will be a moment when we can kind of smile and say we did it, and and there we go, and that'll be an exciting day for everybody. And we're practicing right now like everybody else. Spring ball is happening, and we have a spring game coming up in a couple of weeks, and April the 1st. And so we're looking forward to that. But we're on the same schedule as everybody else now. Once we got through the last football game this past fall, same calendar as everyone else. So we're excited about it and excited to be back on the map.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.